Oh boy. Let's get into it. Red Dead Redemption, in my opinion, is one of the most overhyped and overrated games in the past decade and a half. See, this idea isn't new, but it came back to me when I heard that Red Dead is dropping this week, or dropped already, for the PS4/PS5 thanks to backwards compatibility, and for the Switch for some reason. Shit gonna be looking like an NFT. See, none of this is out the ordinary. A 10-year plus old game is being brought to the new consoles. The problem comes into play when you take a closer look at the game. See, it released at $50 off rip, $20 from current full price, and $10 from previous full prices of old. Compared to what you could buy on the PS3, it's like 20 bucks for the same thing. The game will not have multiplayer. It's only the single player and the DLCs. So we're not getting the full experience. Listen, I know I'm kind of reaching for the multiplayer for this old ass game, but you know, bear with me, it still don't have it. All of these are problems to a certain extent, but not out of possibility for a remaster. The biggest problem comes from the fact that this game isn't a remake, it ain't a remaster, hell, it's not even a definitive edition. Instead, the shit is just a port of the original game. Like, y'all couldn't make the shit look better at all? And also, it's not even coming to PC, which is wild since I thought the purpose of re-releasing games is to get into hands of new consumers. You know, like the PC community who never had the first Red Dead but has access to the second one. Like, how are they gonna play the original? What are they gonna do? One word: emulations. Call me Luffy the way I'm about to pirate this shit. See, the only way for them to play is through emulations. So why not just put it on PC? Matter of fact, who was this made for? It's not for the PC people since they didn't get it. Xbox has backwards compatibility, so all you need is this to put it in. So rare win for Xbox. Nintendo was getting it. I don't know why you would want to play these type of games on a Switch, but to each their own. So the only people this game is really meant for is PlayStation players. And that got me thinking, hold on, I played Red Dead on my PS5 before. And I was just sitting here scratching like, I know I ain't crazy. I didn't play the second one yet, but I know I played it. It's like the idea and memory was right there, but it kept slipping through my proverbial fingers. And then it hit me. It was on the fucking PlayStation Prime/PS Now. They removed it from their program so they could sell it at damn near full price. At this point, am I thinking, oh, this video is gonna be just me hating on Red Dead Redemption. Like, no reason. No other game in this genre would have the fucking balls to do this. Games such as blank. Not blank as in fill in with another game. Blank as in what came to mind. I didn't have an epiphany. The reason why people dick ride Red Dead so much isn't just because it's a good game. But nigga, it's the only dick to ride. There is no other game that satisfies the Western genre experience. This video started off on me hating Red Dead Redemption, but now I want to explain why. Why Red Dead Redemption is really the king of the non-existing Western genre. To understand the success of Red Dead, we have to skip back to the era that it was released, the early 2010s. 2010s was a very eventful year. Well, decade or time period. In politics, the second-year President Obama was fighting for his health care. Osama bin Laden was put down, and gay people could wave their flag around the military thanks to the end of the don't ask, don't tell thing. Around the globe, Mark Wahlberg he's rubbing his hands like Birdman, watching the Deep Horizon oil spill, knowing that he was going to be, you know, the main character in that movie about it. WikiLeaks and Edward Snowden both was snitching. Hades and Japan both had big-ass earthquakes, I believe. Swine flu was wilding the fuck out. In sports, the Winter Olympics were held in Vancouver, Canada. South Africa held the FIFA World Cup. The Saints won the Super Bowl for like the first and last time. The Chicago Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. Well, it was the start of them winning it for like 4 years in a row. In entertainment, Kanye was an unstoppable force in the music industry. He had just released My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Apple was just releasing the iPhone 4 and first iPad. Lost had wrapped up its final season, letting everyone down. Lady Gaga wore a random ass meat dress somewhere, I don't know why. Kesha had predicted the rise of TikTok, which led her to the top of the music chart thanks to TikTok. Think about it, I think she might be the only artist to have her career hurt by a fucking school shooting. It's wild. Mark Zuckerberg, the possible reptilian he is, one-time person of the year for some reason. The tallest building in the Dubai/world is open. Yeah, niggas was jerking everywhere. In the bathroom, in the mall. Shit, sometimes they get a group together and they just have a jerk-off together. Jerk-off's going crazy. I'm talking about the dance. Fucking Toy Story 3 is released. As you can tell, a lot of shit happened. Well, what does that have to do with Red Dead, you might be asking yourself? Well, in this era of change and innovation, Rockstar did that with Red Dead. It pushed the Western genre as a whole forward. Looking back on it, Red Dead Redemption has done more for the Western genre than anything that came out in the past, what, almost 2 decades? Like, think about it for a second. What was the last Western piece of media that you consumed lately? It's more than likely either one of the Red Deads, or a Tarantino movie, and that's it. The glory days of westerns are long gone, being left behind in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. That was their golden years. Now, granted, you have shows such as Yellowstone, for example. It has western flavors, but not the old west. Going back to Red Dead Redemption, people fucking love that game. From the storyline about a man fighting for his freedom from the US government and having to go against his former friends, as the last bit of outlawed westernness is starting to be left behind for the future. The gameplay, having you feel like a badass gunslinger thanks to, you know, Deadeye and the shooting and shit. The world feels like we've been teleported to the old west, feeling some of the struggles that those before us had to endure. Hell, even the characters feel real and genuine, like a person like this could have existed before. The Undead Nightmare is a breath of fresh air. Having John go against the undead and try to save his family is awesome, especially having new mythical horses such as the unicorn and the 4 horses that the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse ride on. Super cool. A lot of people feel this way. Not me though. See, the gameplay shit feels clunky as hell. Half the time the nigga doesn't move the way I want him to. The amount of times I've fallen due to John not being able to make tight and precise moves is a little too many for me to count and for me to, you know, really feel like I enjoyed the game. It's a little bit too much for me. The story, it's alright. To me, nothing pops out at me that makes me go, oh my god, gee willikers. The ending, while somewhat predictable, I liked it. It shows that no deed, whether good nor bad, goes unpunished. I also like how we switch characters at the epilogue, but I'm gonna save that for when I do an actual what really happened on Red Dead Redemption. The world is okay. I personally don't give a flying fuck about the West, not one bit. With that being said, I see why people love it. It does do a good job of portraying the former world and the hardships they went through. It makes you feel like you're part of it. The characters are pretty good. I didn't dislike any of them. I actually liked a few, like John and Bonnie. With that being said, I'm gonna just get this away. I don't really fuck with how Rockstar writes characters. A lot of them are over exaggerated, but I don't really recall that happening in this game. Now, the Undead Nightmare. Listen, I don't like DLC, but man, I fuck with this shit heavy, nigga. And the crazy part is, I don't really know why. From a technical aspect, the game plays worse. So you know how I talked about the movement being somewhat ass and how John doesn't have a precise movements? Well, yeah, that shit comes more pronounced when you play the DLC. In the base game, enemies would try to keep distance between themselves and the players since everyone gets shooting guns. This allowed for the player not to really worry about where John is currently located, but instead where's he aiming at, which is, you know, it makes it slightly easy. In the DLC though, enemies says, nah, fuck all of that, and just runs up on John like he Kaisen not giving away shit. Just straight bum rushing him, and guess what? It works well for him. See, since John isn't able to make quick movements, he gets swarmed and killed easy. How does this happen? Or why does this happen? Simple. The game wasn't made with this in the forefront of the developer's mind. See, this isn't the first time something like this has ever happened. Dead Space is a perfect example of this happening. Isaac was made to fight in a horror game where clunky controls added to the scare factors, knowing that monsters will pop out at any moment and that the players had to stay focused. Then comes Dead Space 3. Where a ton of the horror was taken out and replaced with action. Action which Isaac wasn't built for, both figuratively and literally. Enemy was too quick, they were just too fast, and he wasn't able to keep up with them. But enough of that topic, back onto Red Dead Redemption. It's a solid game, but why do people love this game so much? Well, the answer is simple, quite simple, like super duper simple. Like if you play games, you can see other games such as Madden, 2K, WWE, FIFA, Assassin's Creed, Black Flag, Red Dead Redemption. All these things share one thing in common. Just one thing. Or I guess you could say the lack of. And that is competition. Iron sharpens iron. A phrase that boils down to doing better because you're going against someone doing equally as well as you in the area. Competition is what leads to innovation. Did you know that the greatest invention has come from war? Think about it. We went from fighting with swords on horseback to traveling to the moon in a matter of a couple decades. Not even a full fucking century, just like 50, 60 years. Now, that logic applies to everything, especially games. Now we understand why competition is important. It promotes innovation. But what happens when there is no competition? Well, two things. The first being the need to not change. This really doesn't affect Red Dead, but we're still going to touch on it. This is too common in the gaming industry. It can be seen in huge games such as 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, WWE. These games come out in whatever state they want, and they know they won't truly matter, since where else is people going to go? They also realize that gamers usually forget after a year or two. Like I've seen people saying that 2K18 was a great 2K. Like, I may be tripping. I may get them confused, but I could have sworn that a few years ago when it came out, niggas was saying it's the worst 2K ever. But fast forward like 5 years, and niggas saying they love it? Nostalgia is kicking your ass. Now, the second thing that the lack competition does is cause people to overindulge in giving praise to games. Listen, the reason why people love Red Dead Redemption as much as they do, and also I'm gonna throw Assassin's Creed Black Flag in there as well, isn't just because they're good games. The only reason why they kinda love these games like they do is simply because there ain't no other fucking games like them. Like take Black Flag for example. What games are like it? What? Assassin's Creed Rogue? Sea of Thieves? Sail Forth? Salt 2, Shores of Go. See, who the fuck is playing these games? Like, they're not rivaling Black Flag. Not really. Maybe Assassin's Creed Rogue. But see, come on now. Now, take a better game being Red Dead Redemption, and yes, I'm saying it's better than Black Flag. Fuck all that talking. Take that and try to find a game similar, like in the same area that was created. You will come up with games such as The Weird West, Red Dead Revolver, the game that came before it, before Redemption, and was made by somebody else, Oddworld, Stranger's Wrath, Gun, Call of Juarez, Gunslingers. All of these are good in their own right, but they don't compete or compare with Red Dead, meaning that the love of westerns is solely put on Red Dead just because it's the best. Ain't nobody's touching it, ain't nobody coming near it, none of that. It's missing the most important piece that all games that are considered masterpieces have: clones. When a video game gets big enough and sells well, people recognize it and try to copy it, and like hopes of similar success and mannerism. This can be seen with any large game. Minecraft has Roblox, and Terraria, this game. Also, it also has like some Lego games. Well, I guess Lego came first, but whatever. Call of Duty has Battlefield, Spec Ops: The Line, Medal of Honor. Borderlands has literally any, if not all, looter shooters. So like Destiny, it has that as a kind of semi-clone copy. Yeah, I said it, nigga. Yeah, I said it. Destiny stole it from Borderlands. Yeah. Demon's Souls has, it has the harder games with stamina bars. Literally any of them, you could say it was birthed from Demon's Souls. GTA, they got so many fucking clones, it's ridiculous. From the True Crime series, Crackdown, Saints Row, Sleeping Dogs. Hell, I even throw Cyberpunk and The Witcher in that bitch. But you get it? After being cloned long enough, a game becomes an archetype. And this is where I believe games truly earn the masterpiece title. This is why clones are so helpful. It gives us the consumer markers to base a game off, and be able to compare it. And this is where Red Dead fails. Do you know why people enjoy San Andreas so much? It's because of the story and cast, as well as having aspects not found in other games. And you could put this against GTA 4, GTA 5, the Triad Wars, Chinatown. You could put it against it. Why is Batman Arkham City rated so high? Easy. It raises the bar for superhero games with your story, world, and combat. Think about it. You could put that against any of the Arkham series, the Spider-Mans. Fuck it. You could throw in a Shadow of Mordor for the combat aspect at least. Portal 2. It has better plot and puzzles. It's kind of hard pressed to find something to match it or top it. BioShock, storytelling through both verbal and environmental has barely been rivaled yet. Also, the fucking ending of that game and the twist, ain't nobody really touching it yet. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, still stands as one of the greatest Star Wars games because you get to make a character that fits in the universe without having to play an MMO. See, all these games, they're able to stand on their own feet and see a game similar to them, or just like them. Like, for every single one, you could probably argue that there's games very similar to it, or at least in the same area, that you could play it. What the fuck am I talking about? See, all these games, they stand on their own 2 feet, similar, blah, blah, blah. Compared to Red Dead, which, while standing on its own feet, is just in a fucking desert. Think about it. Batman Arkham Asylum would be held as the greatest superhero game ever created if the other Arkham games and the newer Spider-Man games never released. Think about it. What game was coming near Batman Arkham Asylum in 2009? What Spider-Man 2? See? Spider-Man Lotus would be the best Spider-Man film if all the other Spider-Man films cease to exist. Fortnite would be the best Battle Royale if... Okay, well, that's debatable, but you get the idea, you get the point. Simply put, the reason why people love Red Dead Redemption so much isn't just because it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's a very good game. It's also the only game like it in its own league. You can't really compare it to anything, except for itself. What's a better Western game than Red Dead Redemption? Easy. Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, these niggas are just fighting themselves. Red Dead Redemption is a good game. It was a great game. It was a fucking phenomenal game for its time. But, truth be told, it was also by itself. It was really the Lone Ranger. Yeah, this is the end. If you like what you saw, hit that like and subscribe. I might do more of these think pieces. Yeah, that's really it. Oh, comment what you think. Like, why do y'all think Red Dead Redemption gets so much love, besides it being such a good game? With that being said, new video gonna be up. It's probably gonna be The Order 1886. And after that, probably gonna be a bunch of Mortal Kombat until Mortal Kombat 1 come out. With that being said, the Galaxy needs me. Farewell.
Without a sign, without grasping it, the real question to be asked, where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter at Post Masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter, what else should I be? Please don't take off my mind.